Welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast, where every episode is a step towards a healthier, happier you. Let's grow, thrive, and shine together.
Absolutely. And today we're diving deep into generational trends. You know how different generations approach life, work, everything in between?
We're going to be unpacking some interesting insights from Generations Unplugged. It's fascinating how these trends reflect not just quirks of a generation, but like these deeper societal shifts and technological changes.
Yeah, precisely. And sometimes those changes create a ripple effect, impact everything from our mental well-being to the way we build our careers.
For sure. Okay, let's start with a trend that's almost a buzzword, FOMO, fear of missing out. Our source points to millennials as the generation that really put FOMO on the map.
The rise of social media during their formative years definitely played a big role. Suddenly, everyone was constantly connected and aware of what everyone else was doing, creating this sense of urgency to be a part of everything.
Yeah, it's like everyone had a front row seat to everyone else's highlight reel, 24/7.
Exactly. And that constant comparison can be a recipe for anxiety. But what's interesting is how Gen Z has taken FOMO to a whole new level with platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. They're experiencing FOMO in real time through stories and live streams that disappear after 24 hours.
Wow, imagine the pressure of knowing that if you don't catch something in the moment, it's gone forever. It's like FOMO on steroids.
Yeah, the ephemerality adds a layer of intensity to the whole experience. It makes you wonder if this is just a new way to experience an age-old human emotion, the desire to belong and fit in, or if it's something entirely new and unique to the digital age.
It's a question worth pondering. Maybe it's a bit of both. But either way, FOMO seems to be here to stay, at least for now. Okay, let's shift gears to another trend that's often associated with millennials, the rise of the side hustle.
Millennials are known for juggling multiple jobs, freelancing, and pursuing passion projects alongside their main gigs.
Our source attributes this to economic pressures, think student loan debt and a competitive job market, and a desire for more flexibility and autonomy.
It's fascinating, though, because Gen Z is also embracing the side hustle even while they're still in school. They're leveraging platforms like TikTok to build brands and launch businesses.
So is it the same economic pressure that's driving them, or is there something else at play? Is it possible that Gen Z sees the side hustle not as a necessity, but as a way to express their creativity and entrepreneurial spirit?
It's a great question. Perhaps for Gen Z, the lines between work and passion are blurring. They're growing up in a world where creating content and building a personal brand can be both fulfilling and financially rewarding.
That brings us to a trend that's sure to resonate with anyone who's ever had plans fall through at the last minute. Last minute cancellations.
Ah, yes, the dreaded maybe text and the art of soft plans.
The winner in this category is Gen Z. They're all about flexibility and spontaneity. With endless entertainment options at their fingertips, it's easy to see why commitment can feel a bit suffocating.
But I think it's important to consider this trend in a broader context. Could it also be a sign that Gen Z is more attuned to their own needs and boundaries?
Maybe canceling plans isn't always about flakiness. Maybe it's about prioritizing self-care and mental well-being.
Precisely. It's a fascinating shift in perspective. Millennials, on the other hand, might find themselves struggling with this trend a bit more. We're the generation that popularized FOMO, remember? Canceling plans can feel like admitting defeat.
It's like we're caught in a paradox of our own creation. We crave connection and fear missing out, but we also yearn for flexibility and freedom.
It's a delicate balance, and maybe it's one that each generation has to navigate in its own way.
Okay, let's move on to a trend that often gets a bad rap, nostalgia.
Nostalgia is often dismissed as sentimentality or escapism, but it can actually be a powerful force. It can shape our identities and help us make sense of the present.
And surprisingly, millennials seem to be the most nostalgic generation.
Mm.
We're longing for the 90s and early 2000s, a time that feels both familiar and distant.
It makes sense when you think about it. Millennials straddled the analog and digital worlds. We remember life before the internet took over, but we also embrace the rise of social media and mobile technology.
It's like we have one foot in the past and one foot in the present, and that can create this yearning for a simpler time. What's funny is that Gen Z's nostalgia is for things that millennials consider recent, early 2010s fashion, music, and memes.
Nostalgia is a cycle. Each generation romanticizes a different era. But what's interesting is how each generation's nostalgia reflects the cultural landscape they grew up in.
It's just a cultural time capsule.
Yeah.
Speaking of culture, let's talk about the generation that's mastered the art of going viral, Gen Z.
For digital natives, they understand the algorithms and they know how to create content that captures attention.
Millennials might stumble into virality with a funny tweet or a relatable meme, but Gen Z has turned it into a science. They're creating content specifically designed to go viral.
It's a powerful skill to have in today's media landscape, but it also raises questions about the nature of fame and influence. Is going viral just a fleeting form of attention, or does it have the power to shape culture and drive real change?
I think we're already seeing examples of both, from viral dance challenges to social justice movements that gained momentum online. Gen Z is proving that going viral can be more than just a fleeting moment of internet fame.
It's about harnessing the power of the digital world to connect with others and make a difference.
And that brings us to our final trend for this part of our deep dive, Saving the Planet.
This is where we see Gen Z truly stepping up as a generation that's deeply concerned about climate change and social justice. They're holding corporations and governments accountable, demanding action, and pushing for a more sustainable future.
Millennials are also playing a vital role in this movement, but there's a sense that Gen Z is taking the lead. They're not afraid to be vocal and to challenge the status quo.
They're digital natives, so they're adept at using online platforms to organize, mobilize, and spread awareness. But they're also taking their activism offline, participating in climate strikes and protests.
It's inspiring to see their passion and commitment, and it makes you wonder, what role will each generation play in shaping the future of our planet?
That's a question we'll continue to explore as we delve deeper into generational trends in the next part of our deep dive. Stay with us.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the Wellbeing Podcast. Share your thoughts and let us know in the comments what topics you'd love to hear about in future episodes.